Squad, it's your boy Kyle Milligan of KyleTheWriter.com, and today I'm going to talk about the only way to become a great copywriter in 2019. What stories are you telling? And the topic for this came from a book I just started reading called All Marketers Are Liars, I think it's called. It's a Seth Godin thing, and let's see, what's it called? All Marketers Are Liars. And it's about storytelling, okay? So, almost kind of cut into the chase right away there, aren't I? But what it's really important about is this idea of telling stories. And one of the things that resonated with me listening to this book is that he really harps on this idea that you cannot get away with selling commodity information anymore. Having the lowest price product that satisfies needs will not cut it. You will not make any money. Instead, what you have to do is you need to sell on emotion. And he doesn't really, it's crazy because he's saying the same things, but his focus is not on exactly the emotions or how to trigger them or target them. He's kind of explaining the broader picture. He's like, you have to tell stories. You have to tell stories because people have everything they need. They now buy things that they want. Like, for instance, when you buy bottled water, is it because you are thirsty, or is it because you want the purest water, or you want a bottle that says Fiji on it, or something like that? So, what I do, and what I basically shout from on top of mountains, is that you need to sell to a very specific set of emotions, okay? So, I go way down deeper into the weeds. I say there's 4 big emotions you got to target. They are new, easy, safe, and big. If you can rile that up in your customer's emotional brain, you can sell pretty much anything. And I teach you how to do this in my book called Take Their Money. It's available at KyleTheWriter.com/book. And on that note, I want to pivot very quickly here. This is the new sales letter for my book, Take Their Money. It's officially done, and it is live, actually. So I'm really excited about that. And so you can see this is a lot different than the original sales page that I had, which was kind of junky, right? And I think what you'll find is if you kind of think in the context of this storytelling mentality versus like when you read this sales letter, you're free to go check it out and look. And if you haven't bought the book, hopefully this sales letter makes you buy the book. But when you go to my sales page, I think it's going to jibe very well with what Seth Godin is saying. I can't just tell you that my book has this, and this, and that it'll make you a bunch of money. I have to do it through a story. So you'll see right away, I open with something unique, and a pattern interrupt is something I definitely harp on. I'll zoom in and we'll read a little bit of it really quick. So, again, what I'm doing here is I'm selling through a little bit of storytelling throughout this entire letter. So revealed for the first time ever. This is something groundbreaking, brand new. It's a $7.1 million secrets to getting more from your advertising and marketing. More customers, more sales, more money, more success, more happiness. So dear reader, take a look at the number at the bottom of this 5,000 row sales report. See there? $7,111,888.94. That's how much revenue I generated in a single year thanks to a powerful secret language that speaks directly to the decision-making center of a customer's brain. Sales and marketing powerhouse HubSpot.com has written that every decision is made in this part of the brain. So look, let's not count the intro, dear reader. Let's say 1 line. Let's call this a line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines. I'll even say this one. So in these first 5 lines, I have created a story. What's my story? My story is I'm a dude who made a boatload of money thanks to a secret language. Okay, so that in itself is kind of more of a claim than a story. But the moment I bring in my proof element, my credibility, I bring in HubSpot.com wrote, every decision is made at this part of the brain. And my secret language speaks directly to this decision-making center of the brain. Now we have a bit of a story, okay? Now you have an opportunity to wonder, what is this language? What is this? How does it work? In what way can you speak to a decision-making center of the brain that we don't already speak? All right, and that's kind of like my whole platform. As we speak with copywriting, we speak directly to the emotional center of the brain. And like Seth Godin says in his book, and his book's a lot more top level. It's about marketing, right? What I like to teach you how to do is speak to this emotional center of the brain so you can create sales. Mine is more like a a how-to sort of thing, right? I don't like the words how-to, but it will give you the tools and methodology for you to do something, create something like this. And in Seth's book, as far as I've read it so far, he basically explains to you like the big picture of why this works. Because we now live in a world where, and the weird title of the book, All Marketers Are Liars, it's based on this idea that everybody buys stuff based on the marketing that they see, and then the story that the marketing lets them tell themselves. And I think one of my favorite examples is like, why buy a Rolls Royce when a Volkswagen, I don't remember which, I think it might have been Rolls Royce and Volkswagen. It's like this, like the same car made in the same factory. It's like one of those two things, or maybe it was a Porsche. I can't remember. He compared two cars. He's like, it's like the same car made in the same factory. So why do you buy the Porsche or the Rolls Royce or whatever? It's because of the story you can tell yourself that you are now important and successful and you've made it. Both cars drive from point A to point B, and not only that, they do it in the same like time frame with the same abilities. Sure, one might be more comfortable, perhaps, but it's really about what is that comfort? That comfort is that experience, is that looking cool, is that feeling rad sort of thing, right? So I do invite you to check out my sales letter, which just went live today. I'm so stoked. I gave you a little preview just now. You're welcome to go check that out at kylethewriter.com/book. Check real quick, see if we got any comments, anything like that. Nope, one. So just a moment ago, I went live on YouTube on accident, and I had like 4 people tune in. So I'm considering at this moment in time going live on YouTube from now on. I want to give you one reason why I don't go live on YouTube, and it's really as simple as going to my channel. And this is one of the things that kind of peeves me about going live on YouTube. So if I visit my channel, look at this. If someone smarter than me can tell me how to do this. Well, now it's changed. Maybe I'm an idiot. But, okay, so whenever I look at my channel, the stuff that I stream used to not appear right here. It would only be uploads, and this didn't count as an upload, but now it's there. And it wasn't there yesterday, and that was annoying because you can see it only got 58 views. And that was a problem. So I don't know. Maybe I should go live on YouTube. Now I'm having like a weird crisis. Okay, I had another thing I wanted to talk about. This is totally unrelated. Maybe I should start going live on YouTube. Let's get out of here. Bring back my camera. There's one other thing I want to talk about. While you're reading this sales letter for Take Their Money, I shouldn't have got off topic. Man, I derailed this. So you'll see the stories that I use to tell. All right. I tell you stories in order to support my claims and point. So instead of telling you a bunch of facts and information and telling you, believe me, because I'm right and I know everything, I tell you stories and you draw the conclusions yourself from the information. You say, okay, well, I believe this story and this story and this story, and these make sense. And it's a frame control methodology that pushes you to a conclusion that only makes sense, right? And the whole time, I'll be stirring up new, easy, safe, and big inside your gut, making you excited about what I have to offer you. So if you're interested in learning how to do this, I do recommend checking out the book. At the bottom of the page, click the button, buy the book. But I'm going to take it one step further. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a video series of me actually writing this sales letter, this specific sales letter. And I've been asking for comments from people. Like, if you're interested in seeing a video series where I just show you how I wrote this sales letter, if you want to make money writing sales letters, why wouldn't you be? However, I've gotten 0 comments. 0. Not one person seems to be interested in learning how to write a sales letter. And it has blown my mind. Not one single comment. Not a Facebook message, not an email. And I personally do not believe that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any rational sense. So I think what's happening is I'm pitching it at the very end of my videos. And nobody's like watching to the end. So they're already tuned out, or they're like, okay, he's about to sign off, I'm out of here. But what are we doing here if it isn't to try and learn how to write sales letters? So I know my target audience wants to learn how to write sales letters. I get 1,000,001 comments every single day about how do I write an offer, how do I write a lead. I'm going to record me writing this letter. And I had 2 hypotheses. One, you wanted to see the letter first, right? Maybe it's a junk letter, you don't want to pay or get a video series on a junk letter. Well, now the video's there, so go read it. And it should be up to your standards, in my opinion, okay? So if you want to learn how to write like this, sure, buy the book. I think that's going to be a great way to get you indoctrinated into the thought process of building a sales letter like this. But if you want to take it further, if you want to slice that learning curve and you want to like accelerate, so like, okay, here's how we drum up this story. Like I just showed you 5 lines of a sales letter and how I already created a story that gives you a bunch of questions that I'll be answering in the rest of the sales letter. So if you want to learn how to do that, how to get someone's attention right away, and be like, okay, you made $7 million thanks to this secret language. Well, before you even say you don't believe me, I say HubSpot said every decision's made at the part of the brain that the secret language speaks to. You're like, okay, well, HubSpot said it, you got the language, et cetera, et cetera. What does it mean? What does it mean? Dude, I elaborate in even more stories as we go through, right? So I've told you my sales page that I threw up in an hour was junk. And comparatively, this should be worlds better. And it should show you it should show you the book in action. It should show you the practicing of what I've been preaching. And what's even bigger is it's not financial copy. A lot of people ask me, hey man, well, do I have to know about finances to get into financial copy? Do I have to know about health to get into health copy? You don't have to. All you need to know are the big 4 emotions. Because if I can just know the big 4 emotions, I'll just research what it is that you want, okay? And I know what you want. You want to learn how to make money by writing sales letters or just copy your advertisements. So you want to make more money with your marketing and advertising. So how do I start that into new, easy, safe, and big? And then I wrote a whole sales letter based on that. And then beyond that, I'm going to record a whole video series where I explain how I wrote that sales letter. So that'll be available to you very soon. All right. So I think the point of this thing, and what was really cool is I just started listening to Seth Godin's book, All Marketers Are Liars. I don't know if I'm about halfway through it already. And it brought another idea to my mind, and I'm going to talk with you about that too. And that idea was, I always complain about have enough ideas for content, right? Let me explain that, because I'm going to link a video. Which side is it on? I'm going to link a video, and this video will be about the writer's block and sort of like breaking through writer's block and never failing to have stuff to talk or write about. So this video is pretty much, I should be watching it myself and practicing what is written or spoken in that video. One of the things that makes it so difficult to have a video every day, again, was having this idea to be able to come up with content. But all right, the way to come up with content, the way to to come up with sales letters, the way to come up with stuff to write, et cetera, anything like that, it always comes from the research. I preach that. It does not come from you. It comes from the research. So what has been the problem with me coming up with content recently is I'm not consuming anything. I'm not researching particularly specifically for this channel recently, because I've been busy trying to do this sales letter, been busy trying to put together the video course about this sales letter, trying to get it straight with my designer for this sales letter, and at the same time juggling my 9-to-5 with Agora Financial. So I've been really busy, and eventually the YouTube channel, which is like a daily practice, has kind of gotten pushed off to the side. And what happened was, as soon as I said, I need to start reading a new book, and I bought All Marketers Are Liars by Seth Godin, immediately I had an idea. And again, it came from the research. This book talks to people like me it's talking to people like me and like you. So his content, right? His content is based for like all people who want to market and sell. He's telling stories about it, and he's explaining like his methodology and worldview. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, well, I can just talk about stories in my copywriting, because I open with a story at the beginning. Like I basically drum up the foundation of a story in the first lines of my content or my new sales letter. So again, I just kind of want to bring that full circle, because I know that's something I'm always saying, like the ideas are not in you. The ideas are in the research. The ideas are in the market. And it was Eugene Schwartz who said that like way back in the day in his book, Breakthrough Advertising. Like you are not, the idea is not in you, it's in the market. I didn't come up with that either. I got it from another guy. So again, the wisdom, the knowledge, all that stuff, coming up with the ideas, all that, it is I don't really think there's really a unique idea or original thought anymore. There are, however, like 2 things connected in a way that's uniquely shaped by your experiences, but it's really just a connection of 2 ideas. All right, that's how you come up with ideas, is I just drew the connection from that book to this. So if you want to succeed in 2019, which is what the original content title was about, you need to be able to tell stories. You can't spit raw facts. You got to tell stories. And why do you have to tell stories? You have to tell stories because it's the only way to stimulate the emotional center of the brain. Facts don't go to the emotional center of the brain, but stories do. Stories can communicate feeling, and we are selling on feeling. When you read my sales letter, you'll see a story in there that proves exactly what I'm just saying. And that is that there was a experiment that proved without the emotional center of your brain, you're incapable of making decisions. It won't happen. So we cannot make decisions, we can't buy stuff, we can't have like motivation without emotion. And that's what copywriting allows us to do. Copywriting allows us to focus attention on the things that we want attention focused on. And once we focus that attention, focus on stories that rile up that emotional center of the brain, the big four emotions, new, easy, safe, and big, and get people to buy stuff. Again, highly recommend you check out my new sales letter. I'm really excited that it's out. Feel free to pick it apart, and a bunch of naysayers and whatever can tell me, you don't know nothing about copy, I wouldn't have wrote that there. That's fine. Do whatever you got to do, brother. Also, if you want to see how I wrote this sales letter, which it is mind-boggling that no one has wanted to see how I wrote this sales letter. Maybe because the sales letter just came out 3 seconds ago, and so nobody has been like motivated to learn how. But this is going to be a letter that makes me a bunch of money, and it'll do that forever. I'm just going to leave it here on this page, and it will make me money forever. If you want to learn how to do that, I'm recording a video series about how I wrote this letter. If you're interested in that video series, just leave a comment and say, I'm interested. How easy is that? I'm interested in the video, something. Otherwise, I don't know if I'll even release it. Like, why waste the time? Like, what in the world? Come on, guys. All right, let's see. Do I have any comments, anything like that? Nope. All right, folks. I think that's going to do it for today. Remember, to succeed in 2019, you got to give up this idea that you can sell facts. And basically, it's I got that idea from Seth Godin, too. It's like, we're not in a commodities world anymore. Like, you can't win by just having the best product at the lowest price. He says the marketplace doesn't care about your utility. They care about the story you tell, because the story makes them feel a certain way. And I think a great example of that is look at luxury cars. They go to the same places. They have to follow the same speed limits. They don't go any faster. But it makes you feel cool to be in a Corvette. It makes you feel cool and like rich to be in a Maserati. It's funny because like Mercedes in South Florida, I've heard people call Mercedes the poor man's luxury car or something like that, and I was like, oh, well, I did not know that. All right, that's it. If you want to learn how to speak to the big four emotions, check out my book. It's at kylethewriter.com/book. Anyone who wants to leave that link in the comments for me, I would be very appreciative. Thanks so much for tuning in, and peace out. Copy Squad.